Hi, honey. How are you? Hi, Amber. Good. Good, Joy. I'm feeling better, believe it or not, finally. I don't look much like it, and I still have a little bit of a cough, but I'm feeling better. I said I'd never go back on like this, but here I am. Still in my pajamas, still with my morning hair. I'm here, though. It's a slow starting morning. I am better. I'm a lot better. I finally got that asthma medicine in me, and it really, really did help. And then, of course, the antibiotics are too. Again, honey, I'm telling you, I don't know what to do. I've checked my settings over and over again. Hi, Arlene. How are you? I've been watching my playback though, and I can see the buffering. I see the buffering and the stopping and the starting and sometimes the blurring out, and I have none of that on my end. So I don't know. It's almost got to be YouTube. Because I can't. I'm doing the same thing I done when I started. It is a blessed day, and I do feel so much better. My stream may not be very strong on this camera, though, on this phone. That may be part of it. Oh my gosh. Let me see if my. Let me see what my. Okay. Let's see if that helps. I put the Wi Fi. I don't know if that's going to help or not. Does it seem to be helping? I've never tried to stream with the Wi Fi on, so I don't know if that'll help or not. Am I blurry? Yes, my internet is on downstairs. I could go turn that off and that might help. Let me go try. I'll be right back. Am I good now? Okay. Okay. Pages opening or that kind of thing. Okay. I didn't think to shut it down. I just got up and left it. I got ready to come up here and do this and had to do some cleaning before I started. I know, Emily. I'm so excited for you. And that's at 5 p.m., right? Emily Welda. And I don't know how to stop that. Uh, Emily Welda and the Divine Divas are having an auction today at 5 p.m. You want to make sure you watch that. Divine Craft Divas. Thank you, Emily. And let me turn my Wi-Fi back off. I'm going to reconnect. I just reconnected. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this done unless I get another setup. But the trouble is I don't have a computer up here to set up on. So even if I get a camera, I mean, it will just have to be videos because I can't just open the stream and go live from a camera. Morning, it's 70 degrees here already, and just going to be a beautiful day. We're supposed to have some storms move in, I think, but I've got my fan going in the background, and of course it's just a little one, and it's not hitting me very much. Okay. I thought maybe I was missing out on the chat. I was going to start my granddaughter's journal today, and I know we had talked about journaling step by step, and so I thought maybe you would want to come in and maybe journal with me. Um, I'm using some different materials than I've ever used before, so I'm not sure exactly how mine is going to turn out. I may have a little problem with it, but I'm going to use some velvet on my back, on my book back. So I don't know how it's going to be. Okay, honey. You have a fantastic day, baby, and I will see you in that auction. So, Sybil wrote me last night, girls. I'm hoping she comes in this morning. That we're on at the wrong time for her. Bless her heart. She's in the middle of her day when we come on. And that she said she watches the replays and oh my gosh, that's the sweetest woman. And Sybil's from Germany, you know. And she wrote me the sweetest letter on Messenger. And I tell you what, I just, like I said the other day, I just feel so blessed to have met up with everybody. And to think that you're making friends around the world is just awesome. It says I only have 2 in, and I'm not seeing any chat, so I don't know if we're going to get this done today or not. All right, Amber, good. Good deal. The swap is open right now. You can sign up for the May swap if you want to. And it's really fun. Okay, Arlene. Um, the the journals that we're doing, you know, you don't have to send them in. You send painted paper. You know, I'm very lacy, and that's the things I like. Is you know, and I just I didn't ever cut out of magazines or do that kind of thing. And the more I watch it, the more I think, well, how fun that is. But I just never did do it. So, um, you know, you know, mine was more, I sent flowers and an ATC and a card with my information on it and lace and some bling and that kind of things. And they had to come up with a background. Well, no, I sent them a background because I had done a mixed media, couple of mixed media cards. So I was able to cut them up and send them. And of course I decorated my envelope and that helped. But You know, it wasn't the best in the world. The layouts look pretty good. I've got to get outside and feed my hummingbirds. They've come in. Well, you know, this one wasn't hard because it was just what you have on hand. You didn't have to go out and buy. You're not sending anything fancy, just some of your artwork and some things that say something about you. So it was really a simple one to do. And that's what I liked about it. I didn't have to, um, it wasn't a certain thing that had to go. It was just me. I mean, I sent pieces of myself. So I was able just to pick out of my boxes and send this and that. And, you know, I had a pretty good size package and I was pleased with it. You know, and they made a good layout with it. And then you just put it in your own journal and you don't have to send the journal. Everybody takes pictures of it. And that's kind of fun to watch all the layouts come alive. But I liked it enough that I picked 3 people this time instead of just 2. But I also put that I would do an international one. You know, somebody needs to do that once in a while because we do have international people. I don't really have the money to, but hey, if they're going to send to me, I can afford to send to them. I did 2 for my first time. Finished pretty fast, and then it was like, okay, let's go on to the next. You know, I'm ready. I'm done. You know, I'm ready. So my hummingbirds are hovering around this window. I know I keep looking off, but it's because there's hummingbirds coming right up to the window. And of course, when I see them, I'm like, yeah. Yeah. The envelope was the hardest thing for me because I had so much stuff gathered up that I had to put it in a bigger envelope and then decorate the envelope. So I had to decorate in areas where there wasn't tape because I wasn't about to retape that thing. I guess we've lost Joy altogether. She's not come back in. Or at least I don't see her, so I don't know. It says just the 2 of you are here. But we're 15 minutes in, so um, I don't know if you girls want to journal with me or just watch me. I would love for you to. It's I Well, they say to send it in a letter size envelope. But now it's kind of hard to put enough stuff in a letter size envelope that you can actually make a page. But that's what I'm going to use this next time. But I sent 4 ATCs the other day and it cost me as much as my big envelope to send. So I don't know that it's going to be any cheaper actually. I just don't know. But that's what I'm going to use, business size envelope, and just put it as full as I can without getting it overstuffed. And Care Carehart, but I don't know what she goes by on the computer, on her channel. She did an envelope tutorial the other day that was really cute. And she made envelopes, and she made 3 of them and hooked them together and then flipped them together and made 1 envelope out of 3. And she had papers in each one of them. And it was really, yeah, a waterfall envelope. It was really nice. It was really nice. And I thought about that because then you could add a few more to it and it would be a little bit easier. And she said if you keep them flat enough, they will go regular mail. But I think that's different all over the country. It just depends on your post office and who's running it. Is what I think. Who's doing what in it. But I did like them, and they were made out of pretty paper, and she didn't have to decorate the envelopes. Of course, she was not sending them out necessarily to for the swap. She was just making them to send to people. So, but I really did like them. I've just seen so many good tutorials lately. The paperclip tutorial is one of my favorites. They took a regular big envelope, a big paperclip like this, and curled the ends. And they were so awesome looking. Honey, you know what? They will love what you send. They will love what you send. And even if they don't, they can make a layout of it and put your name on it and just go on. It's not about whether you like this stuff or not, and a pretty card and that kind of thing. Okay, you can say, okay, she's frilly and this is what she does, and she. I don't. I don't do mixed media. Or any of that stuff. Uh, 70 acres. Well, it's called the Flock now, but and it's just pretty cool. And you don't have to. It doesn't have to be anything perfect. I don't know if I can do one of these, but I'm going to try. They got right up to the end here, and these are not good pliers for this, but they rolled. Get a hold of it here. They rolled the end, and I can't keep it in frame really. Okay. And they made just a little curly Q on it. And then they went to the other side. And I need the flat nose pliers to do this. And they rolled the other one. And then they hung beads from the bottom. And the beads didn't come off because these stopped them from coming off. And they were the prettiest clips. And it was just that simple. Just rolled the two biggest edges and then strung beads here and had a beaded dangle on any of their pages. And I really love that idea for the journals. Now, I did not do well on that one because I didn't have the right tools, but anyway, I showed you something. That's a thumbs up. That's worth a thumbs up. But anyway, I am going to make some. Check out the swap. It really is fun, Arlene. It's like I said, you don't have to worry about whether they like it or not. Hello. That phone call knocked me out of the stream. And I've told this girl that called, I told her, this time of day, I'm online. I'm going live. Send me a message I can take in the middle of it, but don't call me. But there's always, it's hard to tell somebody that. And she probably needed to tell me something that I probably should hear, which is like she's not coming today. I have a girl that comes and helps me clean because I don't have enough air or strength actually to clean anymore. I do a lot of my own cleaning. I do a lot of my own heavy cleaning because they don't heavy clean. But it really stresses my body to do it anymore. They do. They do. So I don't know. We must be buffering bad enough, people. I may fade in and out. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. I've used this camera every time I've gone. All of a sudden, now I'm having troubles. Patricia, I enjoyed watching you the other night. Well, they're stored on YouTube. I don't know. It's not stored on my camera. Not going live, it's not. I do have some videos on it, and I can do that. Okay. She sent me a voicemail. But I may need to delete some of my content to see if that strengthens my signal or something. I do too. I use it for filming and going live stream, and it's been working great until the last couple of videos. My biggest ones, actually. I thought about just opening up and recording today and see if that made any difference. But if it's going to buffer, it's going to buffer regardless, I guess. Anyway, girls, I have cut my cardboard. Well, you know, I didn't ever think I would do this, Arlene, but I'm doing it. So, you know, never say never. I cut, in order to make my journal, I cut 2 pieces at 8.5, although this one is not even. It's going to have to be trimmed a little bit. But I got 2 pieces of good heavy cardboard. You know, it was a good cardboard box that my tablet came in. And this other piece is my spine. And these were 8.5 by 6. And this one is 3 by 8.5. And now I cut mine a little bit bigger. I had one cut at 2.5, but I wanted a little bit more space for Lori's journal, so I went ahead and recut one and give me a 3-inch spine on the center. So if you want to journal with me, grab you some cardboard and I'll wait for you, and we'll start us a journal. I've got to get me some glue out here in a dish. Let me step over here and get me a little pot to put it in. My granddaughter is a med tech at a nursing home. And she brings these home. She works at the VA home, and she brings these home. A lot of times they have desserts left over and stuff. And yeah, I can understand that, Arlene. But you know, we all have our. I want Miriam. What's her name? That she's the artist that does all the watercoloring and that kind of stuff. She has a crippled hand that she deals with. And, you know, there's lots of people that have, you know, and people are pretty, if they're interested in what you're doing, they're going to watch. And, you know, it's yes, and I can't think of her channel name because my fibro is just been horrible the last couple of days, and I can't remember anything. Oh, excuse the holler. My little one just about turned my sewing machine off into the floor. And I would have been in deep trouble if that had happened. You don't jump on this table, honey. Okay? All right. Anyway, I've got this tray, and I'm going to put some of my Arlene's glue in it because I am going to be covering my journal for this princess journal. I'm going to be using blue velvet. And hopefully I'm going to be using blue velvet. So, because this is her princess journal. So, honey, are you showing them your card? Or your bowl?
That had a twilight thing.
What happened to the lid off of this one?
What happened?
Yeah, the lid's gone off of this glue. I may not get a thing out of that. That ain't gonna work. Okay, I can't get my glue open. Here, honey, you're gonna have to step back just a minute. Step back just a minute. Find me a pair of pliers. All right. Actually, I think it might have worked. I'm just going to pour my glue out into this tray and brush it on to my back.
And my brain.
Do not move that, honey. You cannot move that. It's too heavy. Now can you get in there? Now can you get in here? Okay, I'm not going to deal with it. Okay, she's going downstairs. It doesn't take much for her to cop an attitude. So, I'm gonna, let me put the camera down so y'all can see what I'm doing, and we'll get this party started. Okay. I'm just gonna brush my glue, which I have thinned just a little bit. I'm gonna brush it all over the back of my and I'm putting quite a bit on it because this may be hard to stick down this velvet. And then again, it might just stick right down. It doesn't want to move. Which would be a yay if it does. Okay, and now my spine. Okay. Honey, you can't bring that up here while I've got glue out. And I like to set my spine about 1/8 of an inch from my first one I put down. I like to give it just a little bit of room to be able to hinge. Make sure I've got this tight. Okay, and on to the next piece. My velvet it's a huge piece that I got give to me. And it had laid in a bag until it's just wrinkled like crazy. But I don't want to try to iron it because, this is going to look more antique-y, I hope. I hope. I don't know whether it will or not. I haven't got started. But I always make my cover first because I let my covers dictate what the insides of my book looks like. To me, it just gives me inspiration if I get the idea of the cover. So, okay, I'm going another 1/8 of an inch from my pull my material around evenly and get it down. Maybe a little bit more than what I wanted. Okay. Oh, I don't want to rub it because the glue has come through. That's what I was afraid of. Can you see where my glue has come through? Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do with this. I may have to go back to tutorials for a while and see what's going on. But I'll try to show you that again. I'm using velvet. You can see where the glue is coming through. So I don't want to rub it too much, and maybe I can, brush some of that out when I get done. I hope. I've never tried anything like that, and I probably shouldn't put another piece of material underneath it. But it's got a nylon backing, so I really didn't think it would be a problem, with that nylon backing. So now I'm going to trim my corners, and I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch on the corners. I'm trying to get in frame here. I leave about 1/8 of an inch when I cut. Doesn't have to be exact, but you want to have enough that you can push in and cover your corners. Whether you're using paper or whether you're using fabric, you want to give yourself that 1/8 of an inch. Okay. Now on the front of this journal, I'm going to try to make an oval frame. I'm going to try to make a mirror on the front. Oh, whoop, 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 I'm going too far. I'm not just doing the edges, I'm doing the whole darn thing. Got ahead of myself. Ooh, I don't know. I may have to redo this. So anyway, I've got, now this edge, I'm going to take my fingernail, and I'm back a little bit away from the camera, but I hope you can see. I'm going to take my fingernail, and I'm just going to push that towards edge on both sides. and then bring that corner up. And I've got enough glue on this side to show you my corner. This one, I don't know, because I haven't got enough glue over here, I don't think, to do it. Let's see if we can't add just a little bit more. Okay. And then that will round out your corners. It gives you just a little bit on it. So much glue. But I tried turning it upside down and everything. You come over here and just tuck that little tiny edge, and that needs a tiny. Tuck it in and lay your corner up. And then we're going to come around the sides and finish this side over here. And I'm going to pull it really tight so that I get some of the wrinkles out of the front. And okay, now I'm going to have to clean my hands off to be able to handle it anymore. You know, I think those spots may just add some distress, but I'm going to put some lace around it anyway. So, anyway, there's my cover on. And I need to lay it over here to dry. And what I had in mind, I'm just going to lay it over here because I don't have any way to dry it other than just to let it air dry. What I had in mind for, I'm going to pull you back up now, for the front is I thought that I would try, I about dropped you. I would try to, back now, I would try to build the frame like I did rather than go and buy one, which I could do. I thought I would try to roll the paper like I did for my tree. That's fine, honey. You tell me what steps you need for me to go over, and I will go over them again. Because I know it doesn't take me long to do them. I've done them so many times, you know. But anyway, I'm going to get me a couple of sheets of paper. And I'm just going to use junk paper, I think. And because I'll have to stain them and work with them. And this is just an experiment. I don't know whether this will work or if I'll have to buy a frame. So let me get me some paper. Hi, Nancy. I may have to up my streaming because it takes longer for it to process if you use Wi-Fi. So, more junk mail. That's good.
Here.
And she would appreciate it. And I hope you heard that because I can't type on this. So,
put this.
anyway, I've got some glue. Yes, I'm going to start twisting this paper from the corner. And I'm going to try to roll it up.
Here's my room.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. Yeah. You
That
got
off of
glue on
there. Get
You
that
got
off of
glue
there.
on yours. You got glue on
Okay.
yours.
Just got the chat thing off of there. I need to close down all my other programs before I do this. I think that may be part of it. Okay. Yes. I heard, and yes, you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I've got this twisted around,
Twist it around.
and now I'm going to start working it to kind of break the fibers down a little bit.
And I got glue on
This is
mine.
good quality paper. And so, anyway, I'm going to start working it down with my fingers. And my idea is that in the days of Cinderella, you know, or the princesses, metal might have been hard to come by, and if they did have it, they probably used it for, making weapons and that kind of thing, defense, rather than to make ornate mirrors. Of course, princesses would have probably had some. And so anyway, I've got this starting to twist a little bit.
Come in, everybody.
Yes, Tom come in behind me too. And I'm going to help kind of bring it down a little bit. Roll it back up.
I got this with a.
Please, honey. I'm having enough trouble with my stream. You kids need to go downstairs and not hover over top of me. I'm hot. I'm hot. I'm hot today. I
That
need.
looks like. That looks like a gun.
It looks like a gun.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to, I hope. I don't know if this is going to work or not.
No, can we work on the living room up here, Mama?
Tommy, do you see that I'm on camera? I'm on camera. We'll talk about it after I'm done, okay?
I'm just wanting to know, Mama.
And we're going to do it blue. I've told you that. And we're going to do it when Kenny gets it done.
And can you get
Now,
it done?
please let me go on with what I'm doing. And you too.
I just wanted to know, Mama.
Okay. I may have to start doing tutorials and letting these kids, so I can edit these kids out. Family Live is right. Okay, I got it started bending,
Ben.
but I'm going to put another piece on the other side.
To my work area for a minute.
And what I'm going to try to do is weave it around this one and give it some like tendril type things.
That's a perfectly
So.
hot. Okay. Put it on mine. Hey.
This one I'm going to put a little bit more glue on because it was really stiff. I could spray it with some water, I guess. That would probably be even better. And I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just rolling up a piece of paper. Amber, did you get your material? Do you need me to go back over the journal back? Okay. All right. Well, if you need anything, you let me know. It's kids and all here, and it always has been, honey. This house has always been full of kids. Every summer I had nieces and nephews that come and stayed all summer. Sometimes more than I wanted. Sometimes a lot more than I wanted. But they were good. And my kids, had kids to grow up with, and it was all good. Okay, I'm going to twist this one a little. Like a gnarly tree, just a little.
Oh,
And then I'm
two.
all good.
Three.
Well, they didn't think so much that I was fun to be around. I was pretty rough on them. Because that many boys, I'll tell you what, they could get away from you in a heartbeat. They got out. They decided, my two nephews decided that they would bring out, and Clinton had gotten a BB gun, because I live out in the country, and then there was hardly anybody around us. And so anyway, they decided they'd bring their BB guns out. And Herb and I had to run to town. So, oh, Kitty, I'm so sorry. So we ran into town. And we come back. And the boys was in the living room, and I mean, they were being good. And I knew something was up. Because, they were always outside. So I knew that something had happened. And Herb went out to feed his dogs, which is one of the reasons why we had to go to town, was to get dog food, because he had foxhounds and raised them and sold them. And so anyway, he had gone to town. We'd gone to town and picked up. Like I said, the boys in the living room just being as good. They was just playing video games. And it was a beautiful day. They were never in the house on a beautiful day. And anyway, they went. I was coming out, and I said, okay, what's going on? Well, they didn't tell us everything, but they had shot a hole through my window with their BB guns. Didn't come all the way through, but they had cracked my glass. And they had gone down to the church, which is, I have a church that's on the corner of my property. It's not my church, but it's across the road from me. And they'd gone to the church, and they had shot up the church sign. And they had gone out, and they had shot into the dog pen, which the dogs were not injured, but they were shooting at a bottle of spray that Herb had hung on the fence that he sprayed his dogs with. It was sitting right over the water. Made all of his dogs sick. I mean, made them so sick it was pitiful. Didn't kill them, but it made them sick. And I mean, they had just been into everything. And let me tell you that I come unglued on mine and on those boys that were staying here. Because they knew better than to do that. But I had to watch them like hawks, or they were into something. Always into something. Okay, I'm going to have to wet this piece of paper down a little bit, and I will hold it up and show you at what stage I've got it to. I've started the bend around the top. And I'm going to try to make some ornate pieces to go on it, like out of wood. And what I was thinking about was calling this book The Magic Mirror.
Magic.
Because she wants all the princesses in it, and I can't just name it after one princess. It's got to I can call it the Princess
I can't
Journal,
sit
but
up
that's kind
in
of generic. So I thought I would make a magic mirror journal that you can go through the magic mirror into the kingdoms. So hopefully I've made it big enough. I may have to put another piece on it. But anyway, there's the start of my oval. And I've got to put a piece down here to make it a little wider. And of course do something on the top. But this is what I had in mind to do. I may give this up and go get me a frame and put a wooden frame on it. But I really wanted it to be kind of my creation, start to finish. But, you know, I don't have to. I don't have to do that. If it doesn't turn out, I will go get a frame. Sister, it will not go in there. And you have got to stop. You either stop or go downstairs. Now, I'm not going to tell you again. Sorry, but you've got to stop. You hear me? She hears me, but she's not going to raise that head up to pay any attention to me. Okay, I'm going to try to roll a smaller piece now. I'm just going to use a little piece, and I'm going to roll just a piece that would be like maybe a branch coming off of it, just slightly. I am going to wet it down first. And let that water soak in. And then I'm going to start rolling. And just keep rolling it up. No glue. And then I'm going to twist this end. I'm going to twist it down. And I'm really going to twist this one. I want it down tight. Okay. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to wrap it around this. And I'm going to tie it, if I can without tearing it. Oops, tore it. Ease that knot down. Nope, it's going to come apart on me. That's not going to work. I'm twisting paper. What I'm doing is I'm trying to make a picture frame. I want to make like a wooden old frame made out of say willow or something like that that's been twisted together, and I will paint it. I'm gonna have to give a little bit more paper right there. So I've just cut a little triangle. I don't worry about the shapes, just whatever I've got. I actually think I wet that down too much, and that was my problem. So I'm going to pull that off and pull that back together because it come loose on me. So I'm going to lay those two together, and of course that makes my oval. And once you get this done, you can work this. You can, you can manipulate it. You can squish it. You can even it out. You can, and this is how I made the tree on my tree journal. I actually used just paper twist, and just made branches off of it and kept going. And that's kind of what I had in mind for this one, other than that this one would be worked just a little more ornately. That's my plan. That's my plan. Okay, Amber, you got your back on? Because if you have, I'll stop this and we'll talk about the back some more and about all the options that you have. Amber, did I lose you? Did I lose the chat? Okay, well, mine's about dry enough that I can show you how to do the inside cover. Okay, Arlene, I'm glad you stopped in, honey. Oh, I'm so aggravated. I'll tell you what I do. If this buffer's that bad on it, I will sit down and just film a tutorial. And we'll just do this by tutorials. Because I'm just about to give up on this. I don't know what to do with it. I've checked over YouTube. I've looked through my settings. Everything's the same on my end. And on my end, I'm just as clear as a bell here today. So I don't know what's going on. So if you girls are having a hard time, we've only got 2 in. We're an hour in. If you're having a hard time, we could stop right here and I can do this in a tutorial. Or however. Yeah, it is tough to deal with. Because you have to keep going out and coming back in and you miss stuff and my computer. Inside, honey, all you're going to do is you're going to cover. Let me put that down. I've got glue all over me. Okay, when you get it like this, it's pretty floppy. But what you're going to do is whatever you're going to put inside here, you're going to cover this all at one time. You're going to cover it all at one time. So, let me find a paper pad because I think I'm going to use paper on the inside, some like brocade paper. And so let me pick out some paper and we'll put the inside on. Blues. I need blues. Wrong shade. Bye, Yvonne. Thanks for stopping, honey. Hi, Susan. Okay. Okay, I picked this paper to go on mine. I hope that it goes well enough. And I'm going to turn you down so you can see how I measure and cut. Okay. Get my spot cleared off here. I like to go just inside, let me back you up just a little bit, just inside the seam by about 1/8 of an inch is the way I like to do it. And as you can see here, I don't have enough to cover this side. Okay, I don't piece it here. Hi, Bethany. Oh, we're having a pretty good day other than the buffering, which we're still dealing with. I'm going to get another sheet of this, and I'm going to come to the center and put my piece that is pieced in the center. And that way, when I sew it in, I'm going to catch that seam that I created when I match the paper up. And so I'm going to make a little mark here where I need to cut on my journal. Okay. You see that? I just cut a little slit and a little slit, and then I folded it right here on the journal so that when I cut it, I know that it's going to be 1/8 inch from the my internet provider is Total Access, and I am going to call them today and see if they can go up, how much it would cost me to go up on my streaming. But I don't buffer like this when I play a movie, so I don't know what's going on. And I didn't buffer when I first started this. So it just kills me. If you don't have a cutter, you know, you can just ease that down and then just tear it. Which is what I'm going to do. Right off like that. And I'm going to let this come out and leave this here. And I'm going to take my other edge, my other paper, and I'm going to bring it in. And I'm going to let it overlap just to the center. I don't want it to come over on my first page so that the pages look. And I'm going to go to that side and crease it down. I kind of like a torn edge because when you glue them down, that torn edge gives you a little bit of a place to brush your glue and kind of pulls the fibers together. So I kind of like to tear. And I'm going to lay it down. Sometimes I have to trim it just a little bit when I do this. But like I'm going to have to, that top part. But a lot of times it's just that I've gotten it a little out of whack when I'm trying it out. So anyway, it looks pretty good. I don't want a big edge around it. I want it to cover my inside all the way. So can you see what I've done? My paper extends out this way, but comes only to the center of my spine in this. And that way, when you sew in your signatures, And I do a hidden binding. So this will all be covered anyway. I do a hidden signature thing. I will take like a piece of material or 2 pieces of paper to give it strength, and I will sew my signatures to this paper and then glue that down to the spine on the inside. And that way you don't have the punctures all the way through the book. And it's super simple to do. So all we got to do is just turn this paper over and put some glue on it. And I don't like using the wet glue, but you know, I've got material on it, so I'm going to do that. Sometimes it makes it bubble. Hopefully it won't too bad. Keep rubbing it. I talk to my projects. And I talk to myself when I'm doing this, girls. You'll hear me to myself, I'm sure, sooner or later. And sometimes I don't talk nice to myself. Okay. Now, are y'all glued up? We're going to turn that right over. Pull it right to the edge where you want it. On the top, the bottom, the sides. And then just work it down. And then keep pressing.
Gigi,
What?
I got her right here.
What'd you do, honey?
I swear, after I sat on that chair, I hurt myself.
Did you turn it around and around and fall out of it? What'd you do?
I fell.
You fell, yeah. You fell out of the chair because you were turning it around and around. Okay, that's my first piece. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on the spine because this is something that I think is really important. While this paper is damp, you want to take your bone folder or use your, I don't have any nails so I can do this with my thumb, and ease that crease into your paper. Be careful because your paper's wet, but ease that crease in, and you can actually then start to bend it. And when you can start to bend it, then you want to push that towards that center. That's why we leave a gap. Okay, you push it and ease that in. Now when you come to the outside then, it's going to give you a little bit of a ridge, and you can start working on that ridge. Just start pulling it up a little, and then laying your finger in that in that spot, right along here, on the outside. Lay it in there and work it down on the outside. And that gives you a natural break. I didn't know you can see it because of this color of this, but it gives you a natural break then in your spine and your book front. Okay, can you see it? I don't know if you can see. See where it's giving me that edge there? You want to just work it right down in that edge where it has a natural break. You really want that ridge to work towards your outside edge. And if your paper tears a little bit, honey, it can be fixed, dabbed over the top, and it will hold. It just, because it's just like decoupage there.
And I got her.
Which, you know, you want to do if you're doing a vintage looking journal. You want a little bit of wear look right there. And lay it in where I want it. And glue it in. And then on this edge, you will have to do that again and work that spine back in there because you're putting more paper in it. And if you don't do that, it will with the opening and closing of the book, it will tear there because you put too much stress on it. So you want to make sure you make that little ridge. It really makes a difference in them. Zoe, Zoe, I want to say Oldfield, and I'm not sure that is her last name, but she has a channel here on YouTube, and she makes books. And I mean, she makes books. They're beautiful. And I have watched her. I binge watch her. Okay, well, it's blue. It doesn't want to cut good. Okay, still not quite enough. Ah, gosh. Get a little bit more. Should have checked it before I laid it down. See, now I'm going to start yelling at myself because I didn't check it before I laid it down. Let me smooth this out so it doesn't keep wrinkling. Smooth it out.
I see a bump here, right there.
I'll work it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You hit my nose. Okay, now let me get this cut. Don't press it down. I'm trying to cut that edge. You sealed it down on me, sister. Okay, let me cut this edge.
There we go.
No, it's still too close here. Where's my little scissors? Get my little detail scissors out here.
Little baby. My can cut easily, but not that easily. Huh. Too much glue on it because
Come on.
too much glue.
All right, that edge looks horrible now, but it is what it is. Now, a lot of people would stop right here and take this to the sewing machine and sew around the edges. You don't have to do that. That's personal preference, whether you like it sewn or not sewn. You don't see a lot of sewing on books. So, to me, I'm not that thrilled about the sewing in them. But a lot of people love it. So, that's up to you whether you want to try to sew them or not. But remember, when you get this side done, to put your crease back in to your book. Push it in. And then go to the outside where you pushed it in and then work it down. And that gives you your seams. And then they close really easy. It makes it really workable. So. I don't know how I'm going to get the glue off of this one. This may not stay like this, but it may. You know, I want it to look old and vintagey, and so we'll see how it does. But anyway, I think a little more difficult, but here's my my little oval frame. It looked like something a little more difficult, but here's my sofa But when I get this painted like dark, deep wood, and remember, you know, the evil queen used this mirror, so I don't want to make it real fancy, you know. So I'm thinking about having the magic mirror on the front of the book. And like I said, this may not work, and I may take it off, and you know, and build from there. I'm going to turn you up a little bit more because I know I'm not all in frame. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking about the front of my book. Is I am going to build this up more like gnarled wood, have some places that are like knots coming out of it, and then this will all be painted and made to look wood grain. And so this so it's up to you. Is anybody else making a journal along with us?
Huh, there we go.
I know Amber is. Is anybody else
I
making
need a
one?
page here.
You can't get into your craft room yet?
Ooh,
But I don't know what the thing is.
that have that on it.
Okay. Amber, that's fine because it's your journal. I don't want to sway you in any way of how you want to make yours.
This looks like
I mean,
on that side and on that side.
I've got some more of these cameos. A cameo would be beautiful on this book, which would make it look more like a princess book, and I may do that. You know, I'm ready to get it started. I've got 2 to make for May for birthday presents. So you know, this was my thoughts. This may be what I do.
I was thinking,
So, okay, you want to, girls, if you want to get out your material, I'll try to go over what I done
beautiful.
with you.
Let me turn on that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, like that.
It's beautiful like that.
Yeah.
Well, we might have to look for another cameo. That's so you tell me where you want to go from here. Do you want to continue, or do you want to open this up tomorrow and do another live stream or tutorial tomorrow?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I'm not seeing any chat. So,
That's so super.
Amber, do you want to continue today, honey, or do you want to? Yeah. I'm going to have to do that too and get it off my hands, and I am out of wipes. So I've got paper towels, and that's about it. I'm going to just soak mine in water with a little, this has a little soap in it. That's why I'm spraying it on. And get it out of it, and then I'll spray my hands down. Wipe them off. So if you girls want to start one with us, I'd be more than happy to go back over this basic that we done. You may have watched it enough to see what I was doing. I may have been buffering too much. But the biggest thing is to line up your paper so that your cut edge is in the middle of the spine. Because then that way it is going to be reinforced and it won't come loose.
Come loose.
And when you're putting it into this to the center of the spine, make sure that you push down lightly, because you know you leave an 1/8 of an inch gap. Push down lightly to fill that gap up, and then run your fingernail up and down through it, and that gives you the look of a spine on the back of your book. So if you girls want to work on a cover or whatever, we can pick this up tomorrow. And I want to work on my front a little more and see if I can, because I've got a big patch of glue right there that I don't know what I'm going to do with. Hopefully that will wipe off of there or brush off of there. But anyway, I like to build my front. And like I said, that dictates the rest of my book and how it's going to fall together. I know pretty much how I want to put this one together because I have each princess has a different castle, and the castle will be the first image that you see. And then behind that will be the princess. And so that's kind of how I'm going to do it. And I'm not putting a lot of tuck spots and card spots in it because she wants information pages. So I am going to actually put some typed pages in it that will hold the information that she wants. She's really wanting a technical book. She's not being gentle on her Gigi at all. But it's really interesting when you get into it. Like, for instance, in Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella, they ran out of time in Beauty and the Beast to film the dance sequence at the end of the So they used the exact same dance as Cinderella, and they just put the two images over Cinderella and the prince with Beauty and the Beast to dance together.
No.
And they told how they did that in the film. How they managed to work that in so the choreography of the dance would work with the different characters.
And that turning in people. And that beast turning in people.
Okay, honey, that sounds good to me. I have a ton of things I need to really be doing downstairs because my aide is not here and I don't guess that she's going to make it today. And she's having some problems that are personal that I'm not going to get into that she has to deal with, and so I didn't figure she would be here today. But anyway, I need to kind of pick up the slack, and I've got a load of wet clothes in the washer, and I need to get those out, get them dried before they sour. And then I'd love to go out and spend some time putting up my bird feeders and getting my hummingbirds feeders up and, just enjoy the day a little bit. So let's call it off here. And tomorrow we will work on signatures and the fronts of the books if you need any help. If you can't really decide what you want to do or you don't know how to put the image on or what to do for it, I'm here to help. That's as much as I can help. And Michelle Scott said that she was happy to help us out if we ran into a problem. And so we can always ask her. And maybe she can give us some guidance. So, girls, I'm going to let you go. I love you all, and I love you for coming in. Thank you for hanging with me through all this buffering. I'm hoping to get it straightened up today. Bye. Love you. Please give me a thumbs up. I'm going to tell him I'm having a lot of issues. Because this is crazy. Okay. Bye-bye, y'all.